What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here to the second channel where we are still in quarantine. We are without sports, and the last kind of non-sports tier list I made, which was the fast food one, you guys seem to pretty much enjoy. So I'm here today ranking every single Marvel movie, and there is 21 or 22 Marvel movies. I've seen every single one of them. I've seen a couple of them multiple times, and I haven't seen one probably in... honestly, the last Marvel movie I probably watched was Far From Home, but they're all still fresh in my mind. And I think I'm going to actually do a podcast with my friend, and we're going to rank all the Marvel movies 1 to 22. But for today, we are going to do a tier list. So if you guys have any other tier lists you want to see me do, let me know in the comment section below, or tweet me at them on Twitter, twitter.com/Matthew. And guys, the link is in the description. So, alright, we got to kind of refresh our mind here. We'll go in order from all the way here on the left and down. So the first one is Iron Man 1. Honestly, I'm doing my personal. I'm not saying like what's the best. I'm ranking them my personal biased opinion. I thought Iron Man 1 was good, but I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was good. I think, personally, it was my favorite Iron Man movie. And I think it's going to be in B tier, because I don't want to put too many in S tier. Obviously, there's a lot of great ones, but I want to kind of leave that to be subjectively, like, obviously, it's impressive to be in the S tier. Now, Captain America, the first Avenger, that is also going to be in B tier. I like that one more than Iron Man 1, but a lot of people think Iron Man 1 is like a top 5 Marvel movie, or before Endgame, top 5, and now probably top 7. Next one is Iron Man 2. The C movie, I didn't really like it whatsoever. I only think I will have one D Marvel tier movie, maybe 2. But yeah, it was just so much going on with, okay, I'm not going to remember the names, but the Russian guy with those suits, then you had Hammer with his, I just felt like it was kind of a little bit all over the place, but it was a cool way to kind of introduce Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, so I have that at C tier. Thor 2, this is probably, or no, that's Thor 1, kind of give a spoiler there. I'm going to say it was a C. A lot of people liked it. I would say it's better than Iron Man 2, but honestly, I didn't really get much out of it. Like, rewatching it, I don't think I've ever rewatched it. I liked it the first time, and I thought I liked it a lot more, and then I think I tried rewatching it once, and I just really didn't like it. So yeah, it's going to go in C tier. Avengers, it's going to go in S tier for me. It was probably my favorite Marvel movie for a long time, and I think it deserves to be in S tier. It was fantastic, it was great, and it was just a great way to kind of combine Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, and then have Black Widow and Hawkeye in there. Iron Man 3, I'm going to put it in C tier. Honestly, it's better than Iron Man 2. It's definitely better than Thor 1, in my opinion. Wait, I'm going to have Thor 1 there. Yeah, but it was good. It's definitely inching towards B tier, but I'm going to keep it at C. I didn't really like the villain in that. I'm going to forget his name, but obviously the guy that can create fire, and I didn't really think, I thought it was kind of stupid, Tony Stark getting his house blown up by announcing his address, but I did think the scene with the kid in the shed was really cool. Thor 2, worst movie, I think, in the Marvel Universe by far. The villain sucked, the plot sucked, the pacing sucked. It's just, I think it was a horrible movie. I think all these movies are good, but this one, I think this was the only bad movie that came out. Obviously, Iron Man 2, I think it was in a below tier Marvel movie, but Marvel has made a pretty high standard, so it's currently coming in at C, or that'll be at C, Iron Man 2, but yeah. Thor: The Dark World, horrible movie. Malekith sucked as a villain, and it was just bad. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, it's tough. Either it's S or A tier. Honestly, it's my personal favorite, I think, out of the trilogy. I really, really liked Winter Soldier. I rewatched that one a ton. I thought just the introduction of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, was just so cool and so badass. They kind of name-dropped Doctor Strange throughout that movie. And I thought, honestly, it was a great movie. I think that was the best, like, of Black Widow, and I really liked it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 8 here. Funny story. I wasn't huge into Marvel when this came out. I think it was 2014 when it came out. And I was just, like, I watched it with a couple of my friends in the movie theater. I was like, okay, that was cool. I knew, like, Batista was in it. I knew Chris Pratt was in it. That I thought was pretty cool. And then I was like, okay, I actually, like, I was like, whatever. And then when I rewatched this, when I kind of got into Marvel in, like, 2015 more, like, the end of 2015, I was like, wow, I love this movie. And I think it's definitely an A tier. And I think it's definitely, I think it's behind Winter Soldier for me personally, but I think a lot of people would have that above Winter Soldier. Now we have Avengers Age of Ultron. I think it's a B tier for me personally. I like it more than other people because a lot of people didn't really like it. I thought there was just like every time you have kind of two villains at first, or three kind of throughout the movie, because you had, God, I'm gonna forget his name. Obviously, it was the guy that got his arm chopped off. He was in Black Panther. Forget his name off the top of my head. I just have been away from the Marvel movies for a little bit. But you had him. You kind of had Scarlet Witch and Hydra and Quicksilver kind of as villains at first. And then you got Ultron, which I thought was a cool villain, but it kind of made him look a little bit weak towards the end, just killing him off in one movie. Because I heard, I'm not a comic book reader, but I know he's kind of one of the main villains from the comics. So I have that in B tier. Now Ant-Man 1. I liked it. I don't think it was better than Age of Ultron for me personally, but I liked it. I think it's a B tier movie. I would say it's at the end here. Yeah, I would say it's at the end here of the B tier. And yeah, so we have one S tier, two A tier. So we're doing this by year wise. So what are we in 2015? Yeah, so 2016 Captain America Civil War. It's an A tier. I think I would put that in ahead of Guardians of the Galaxy, but behind Winter Soldier. Now, a lot of people love Civil War. They think it's arguably the best Marvel movie ever, or it was the best before the Infinity Saga, and I see why people say that, and it's so good, but I personally just really liked Winter Soldier. I thought Zemo was a cool villain, and I think it was cool that he brought the Avengers to fight each other, and it was really good. And then to this day, I was always Team Stark, then I kind of went with a little bit with Team Cap. But I thought it was a really good movie, and I really like the ending with Cap fighting Iron Man. I think that was just like the coolest thing to do. And I think it's definitely an A tier movie for me personally. Doctor Strange, that's gonna be in B tier for me. I actually like that probably more than the Iron Man and Captain America, honestly. Yeah, I definitely liked it more than Ant-Man and obviously these ones down here. You know what? I'm probably gonna put. Yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about it as I've been talking. I think I'm going to put Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Captain America. Yeah, I think looking back on it, I definitely liked, I thought the Red Skull just wasn't a great villain for what they did with him. And I kind of like, Iron Skull, whatever his name was. I forget the bald-headed guy villain in Iron Man 1. My memory sucks here, but, yeah, so I like this ranking a lot, and I am doing it in order from left to right in that tier. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm going to put that in front of Captain America, the First Avenger. I liked the movie. I thought Ego was a kind of a weird villain, but I kind of liked it. I liked the character progression in that movie. I really like the Infinity Stones when they kind of entered that, and they talk about Thanos, because obviously that leads up to the bigger movies, and the like I said, the Infinity Stones that kind of gave Nebula more character development. I did like the movie. I just wasn't a huge fan of Ego as a villain. So now we have Spider-Man Homecoming. That's an A tier movie for me. Personally, I was a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy fanboy. I honestly, as a kid, I loved Spider-Man 3. I thought it was such a good movie. And then when you get older, you kind of realize, like, these movies are alright. Like, same thing with, the sequels or the prequels of, Star Wars. Like, as a kid, those are the ones I grew up on. I loved them. And then kind of when you rewatch, like, Attack of the Clones, it's like, these movies aren't that good. But yeah, this Spider-Man movie, I think it's great. I don't think it's the best Spider-Man movie ever. I do think it's a little bit better than the sequel, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We could do a whole nother video of me ranking the Spider-Man movies. That could be something. But yeah, I think that is going to go in A tier for me. So we have 4 in A tier, 1 in S tier. And now we have to Thor Ragnarok. It is an A tier for me. It will go behind Spider-Man Homecoming, but it is definitely the best Thor by far. It kind of saved the trilogy, honestly. And it's one of the best Marvel movies ever made. I think it was really good with Hela as kind of the villain, and then you had Sulfur Surfer, the big red fire guy. I like that. They went to the planet for the test. I forgot the guy's name. You know what I'm talking about? The guy where now Thor had to fight Hulk. I thought that was really cool. And for Spider-Man, I loved Vulture as a villain, and then I liked the incorporations with Tony Stark as like a dad father figure role. I thought that was really cool. Black Panther. I think for me personally, because it's a really good movie in its own right, but it's kind of like, we got to a point where, like, these movies are kind of getting repetitive, and it's like you have your main villain, who kind of, like, has a vengeance or a vendetta against the hero, and he kind of copies his superpower, because we saw that in Iron Man 1, we kind of saw that with the super soldier serum in in Captain America 1. We kind of started in Iron Man 2 where he copies the suits and kind of, we also started in Doctor Strange. We also started in, you'll get to it, Captain Marvel. So it did get a little bit repetitive there. And we also started Captain America Winter Soldier with Bucky Barnes and the Super Soldier Serum. I'm debating like at the end of A or at the beginning of B, but I think I'm gonna put it at the beginning of B. I'm really excited for Black Panther 2 with Namor. I think that is gonna be so cool when they introduced that villain. I'm really close to putting it at the end of A or at the beginning of B, but I think I'm gonna put it in the beginning of B. Definitely better than any of these movies. And it would definitely be at the end of A. But I think I'm going to go B. I want to make that a prestigious tier. Avengers Infinity War, S tier. I'm putting it in front of Avengers 1. I just think it was just amazing. Thanos, it kind of made him the best villain in arguably movie history, or just comic book movie history, or superhero movie history. It was so good. Personally, when I watched it, I was kind of still like, I knew there was another Avengers, but I didn't think it was going to end like that. I didn't think it was going to be where the protagonist, or if you think he's the antagonist, going out on top, and it was just so cool, and this, obviously the snap happens, but you're not going to believe it because Marvel would be throwing away millions and millions of dollars if they killed off Spider-Man and Black Panther, but it was so good. It was such a good movie. And I honestly thought the Avengers would have came out on top, and there would have been maybe an off kind of spring villain there of Thanos that would have maybe came back in Endgame, but I loved it. It was a great movie. It combined Guardians of the Galaxy, combined everyone, the Avengers. So good. Black Panther, everybody from Civil War. It was just so good. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, personally, better than Thor 1. I think I liked Iron Man 2 better. I meant Iron Man 3, excuse me. So yeah, it's going to go there in C tier. It wasn't a bad movie. None of these in C are bad. Every movie besides Thor the Dark World was a good, solid movie that I didn't regret watching, besides Thor the Dark World. Okay, Captain Marvel. It was a bad Marvel movie, but I'm not going to put it in D because I think that deserves to be its own category of Thor the Dark World. Iron Man 2, Thor 1, I think I'm putting it at the end. I think I'm putting it at the end. It was interesting. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm putting Iron Man 2 in front of Thor 1. I don't know. I think I'm going to put, like, these three, they're interchangeable between Captain Marvel, Thor, and Iron Man 2. Captain Marvel was kind of disappointing. It was kind of like the other movies where, obviously, the villain has the same thing. She would have a vendetta, or the hero has a vendetta, or the villain has a vendetta against the heroes, so they come after him. So I thought it was cool having Coulson and Fury, and obviously kind of going back to the 90s and the Skrulls, which came up in Far From Home, but I don't think it was really special. I didn't think at all, and I'm hoping in Captain Marvel 2 it's really good, and obviously when they kind of explore the MCU, it'll be in the future period or current time, not in the past. I think it'll be much better than the prequel of it. So Avengers Endgame. Okay, do I want to put it in A or do I want to put it in S? I'm going to put it in A. No, I'm going to put it in S. I'm going to put it as the last movie in S. It was so good. Honestly, if Captain America didn't wield Mjolnir, I don't think I would have liked it as much as I did. I think that was just so freaking cool. But I think them going back in time was also amazing. Yeah, it definitely deserves to be an S tier. I liked Avengers 1 and Avengers 3 better than Avengers Endgame. But I think it was still a great film. 3 hours long. They could have made it boring. I think it's like worth sitting through just because them going back in time, them going to the Soul Stone, them going back to where Tony can talk to his dad. Avengers 1 they go back to. It was really good. And then when obviously the first one where Peter Quill got the Space Stone, or the purple one. So yeah, that is that. And then I think Far From Home, I liked it. I'm a Spider-Man fan. He's my favorite character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's actually my favorite superhero. I'm debating B, top of B, or end of A. I personally like Mysterio. Yeah, I'm going to go end of A for Far From Home. I thought it was pretty solid. I like Mysterio as a villain. I like how it's going to set up. It had J. Jonah Jameson at the end. We'll see kind of what Spider-Man is even into the MCU in the future. But I like this. I think this is going to be my tier list. So in the S tier, we have Avengers 1. Or Avengers 3, 1, and then 4. In A tier, so just below that, we have Captain America, and I ranked these from left to right. Captain America 2, Captain America 3, Guardians 1, Spider-Man 1, Thor 3, and then Spider-Man 2. And then B tier, from left to right, we had Black Panther 1, well, there's only one Black Panther, Avengers 2, Iron Man 1, Doctor Strange 1, Guardians 2, Captain America 1, and Ant-Man 1. And then C tier, we had Iron Man 3, excuse me, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Thor 1, or Ant-Man 2, Thor 1, Iron Man 2, and then Captain Marvel 1, and then Thor: The Dark World in its only tier, or it's the only D tier bad movie in my opinion. So yeah, that is my list. Let me know what yours would be in the comment section below. This was really fun. Like I said, I think my friend and me are gonna rank these 1 to 22 or 22 to 1 on my podcast. So obviously we know sports, it would be a fun thing to do. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, let me know in the comments anything else you want to make, you want to see me make a tier list of, or a video of, or a reaction, or something like that. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next video.